Spider-Man from 2002 has held up extremely well, and this movie has some really interesting deleted scenes, stuff from the trailer that didn't make it in, stuff that was changed in production, and early tests that are just incredible to see if you're a fan of this movie. And with Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out and the Avengers Doomsday trailer just dropping, I figured it'd be a perfect time to talk about this stuff. Let's get into it. Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man movie is a movie I was lucky enough to see in theaters as an 11-year-old kid. I remember reading brief pages of my friend's copy of the novelization that came out before the movie during recess. This movie has such an interesting production and background, and it ended up being one of the most iconic superhero films of all time. And I think it still holds up personally. A lot of this stuff, besides some of the marketing stuff, comes from this DVD release. This was a great era for physical media and DVDs, and in particular, special features. This thing's loaded. Look at that thing. This thing has a real reason to have 2 discs. It has a ton of stuff, like the HBO making of, the E-Hollywood special look. But the first thing we're going to take a look at is how the marketing was altered. Mainly the teaser trailer for Spider-Man, which included footage that was changed after the attacks on September 11th, 2 months or so after filming had wrapped. The teaser poster also featured the towers in the reflection of Spider-Man's eyes, and looking at this now 25 years later, it's fascinating to me. I was a 10-year-old kid when I saw the second plane go in those towers. I remember seeing that fear in adults, so I understand Hollywood's reaction to it. This wasn't the only movie to have changes made to either the film or its marketing campaign because of 9/11, or another tragedy for that matter, like Columbine's effect on the Scream franchise. Collateral Damage and Donnie Darko both had to alter their marketing after the attacks on 9/11 as well. This is an interesting topic, and more often than not, I do think it was because of studio intervention that these changes were made. But I also think the filmmakers have enough sense to know not to argue with that they would essentially agree with those choices. So let's take a look at this first teaser. In the trailer, some masked goons are robbing a bank in the middle of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm.
It feels very Point Break, or kind of like the opening scene in The Dark Knight. It also feels very Batman Forever. And I think the score of this movie also feels very Batman in general. But that's Danny Elfman for you, I guess. It's a great score. So they get to the roof and get in a helicopter, and eventually, the helicopter is caught in a giant web. It's slowly revealed to us that that web is between the Twin Towers. Now, again, I can understand changing this, especially for the current climate. But I do appreciate that we still get to see this stuff, that it's not just lost media at this point. In 2026, it's worth taking a look back at stuff like this. It's a cool shot, and in a different world, that's an iconic Spider-Man shot. There's also another early teaser that featured more stuff not in the movie, including the original mechanical web shooters that Peter was going to use. It's widely known that Peter was originally going to have mechanical web shooters instead of the organic web shooters, which I still think is maybe the most critiquable element of this film, but I've just learned to accept it at this point, and embrace it. If I recall correctly, the scene where he's testing them out was shot with the mechanical stuff, and then they changed it in post-production later. There's a short shot of a CGI Spider-Man test as well. It's just a simple wall climb in an alley, but it's more than a proof of concept. And if you weren't around when this movie came out, the effects of this stuff probably don't stand out to you. If anything, they might look dated, but at the time of release, this was absolutely incredible. There's also a screen test with a shirtless Toby fighting some goons. It's not the worst, but it's kind of funny to see this. It feels like that scene in Mortal Kombat with Johnny Cage while he's filming a movie. J.K. Simmons' screen test is pretty simple. He's doing a script reading in what appears to be a hotel room.
We can get a picture of Julia Roberts in a thong. We can certainly get a picture of this schmuck. Put an ad on the front page. Cash money for a picture of Spider-Man.
With no Jameson makeup. I think it's interesting to see because this portrayal of this character will never be beaten. Honestly, this character throughout this entire Raimi trilogy helped shape the movies and their sense of humor.
I make it page 8 and give them 10% off. I make it 5%.
That can't be done.
Get out of here!
And then the costume tests have some really interesting stuff as well. Some of it's simple, boring shots of Peter in street clothes, but there's also some costumes explored on screen that are really cool to see in this lighting, like the wrestling outfit. You see a couple different Spider-Men standing together. And the regular outfits, there's something off about these, right? Costume screen tests are the most non-AI thing that looks like generative AI. My favorite of the screen tests, though, was with the Green Goblin. And this footage isn't available on this DVD, but it's out there on the internet. The early costume for the Green Goblin was a much different look. And honestly, if you've seen this, you won't forget it. I don't at all hate what we got in the movie. I think for the times, it was perfect. But holy shit, this is a cool effect. You can hear Sam Raimi directing while they shoot screen tests for this.
Now, look to lens. Let's see your most pleasant expression. Your most pleasant, benign expression. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go to anger over. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000.
It's so unique to look at, and honestly, I think they would have pulled it off had they went this route. I can't say I wish it was used because I probably wouldn't change anything about this movie. The realistic mask and the expressions on the face, though, how this came together, this should never be lost. The outtakes and gag reel reveal a few things, aside from a few funny moments with Willem Dafoe.
What do I do? I it up.
How?
The most interesting bit is Stan Lee's little extra.
How about these? They wore 'em in the X-Men.
A lot of people attribute this to being a deleted scene, but I'm not exactly sure it was confirmed it was ever in the movie or not. It's also cool to see Green Goblin dancing around and scaring the crowd, just kind of hamming it up and spooking extras. I took a bit of a risk making this video because normally I talk about horror stuff, but I figure since Sam Raimi directed it and there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out, it's adjacent enough, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Love to hear from you.